count on in Milwaukee. This is the TV6 News at 6.
Thou shalt not carry a firearm and certainly commit a crime with a firearm.
That's how Milwaukee's federal prosecutor describes a law that is being used more aggressively now against drug dealers and violent offenders. It's all part of a federal war on violent crime in Milwaukee streets. Good evening. I'm Vince Gibbons.
And I'm Joyce Garbasiak. It's a tough law with long mandatory jail time for anyone caught breaking it. Our Jeff Jackson joins us live from the federal courthouse where a Milwaukee man has just learned how tough that law really is. Jeff?
Joyce, Vince, the man is Joseph Kohler, and just a few minutes ago here in federal court, he was sentenced to spend 27 years behind bars, and that is without parole. This is a man in his mid-40s. At the very earliest, he won't get out of prison until the year 2014 at the age of 67 years old. He has a lengthy criminal history, including convictions for a brutal gang rape, his most recent convictions for cocaine trafficking. But one reason he got such a long term is that he was sentenced under a law called the Armed Career Criminal Law. Under that law, a convicted felon arrested with a handgun or any other firearm who has 3 serious felonies or drug trafficking convictions on his record gets a mandatory sentence, and that is a minimum of 15 years to life.
Basically, I think it's aimed at the person who just can't be rehabilitated, and it's to just put him on the shelf for a mandatory period of time.
People like Joseph Kohler, a member of the outlaw motorcycle gang, whose headquarters was here in South Milwaukee before it was searched by police in 1988. A second outlaw member was arrested here then, sleeping with a pistol under his pillow. That man, Thomas Rails, is now serving 15 years after being convicted under the Armed Career Criminals Law.
All you have to do is look at their records, and you see that they've been, each time they've been convicted, they've been back again. And at this point, we know they won't be back again for at least 15 years.
Federal authorities are also making frequent use of a law that adds 5 years to the sentence of a drug dealer who uses a gun.
Hopefully the word is getting out by people reading in the newspapers the type of sentences that are being meted out, that thou shalt not carry a firearm and certainly commit a crime with a firearm.
Joyce, this law has only been on the books since 1986. Nationwide, the sentences are averaging 17.5 years. There have been a few life terms. Tonight, Joseph Kohler got 27 years. That's a pretty hefty term.
So I'd guess it'd be fair to say it's having an impact.
Well, right now, drug prosecutors say about half the cases they prosecute involve guns. They haven't seen that number drop, but as criminals learn about these severe sentences, they expect to see fewer guns involved in drug crimes.
All right, Jeff Jackson, thanks.
In the meantime, a telephone hotline aimed at getting illegal guns off of Milwaukee streets has gone cold. Myra Sanchuk tells us why 278 Guns isn't doing a booming business and what officials plan to do about it.
278 Guns.
This is the gun hotline ringing in the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department. These pictures were taken in September, soon after the hotline was set up. This is the hotline today. The 278 Guns line hasn't rung in more than a week. This month, there have been a grand total of 2 calls, not counting a few wrong numbers.
It is slowing down. Matter of fact, it's really drying up, as they would probably say. There's public has probably forgotten about it since the first push that came out some months back, that people are here ready to answer the calls when they come in. However, they just are not coming in.
While the gun hotline may not be doing very well right now, there are those that aren't going to let it die. There are efforts going on right now to revive it.
You're going to see posters, you're going to see billboards. And
Bob Folson is part of an African-American fraternal group called Frontiersmen Incorporated. The group is coordinating volunteers in the business community for an advertising and public relations campaign. This Friday, the police chief and sheriff will go over plans to promote the gun hotline.
And now we have this program where you have the business community along with an African-American fraternal organization coming together to focus in on the murders and the killings that are going on in our city. And we're going to win. I'm sure we are.
Myra Sanchuk, TV6 News, Milwaukee.
But help is needed to win. The frontiersmen need people to donate billboards and to help distribute gun hotline posters. Call us here at TV6 if you'd like more information about this.
A Milwaukee man grieving over his murdered son is offering a reward for information that would lead police to the killer.
Over and over again, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. How could this happen to me? Such a cruel manner to someone you love. Someone was, you know, as honorable and sweet as Anthony.
Anthony Connor's father doesn't want us to show his face or use his name because he'll try on his own to find out what he can. His son was found shot in the head in an alley off Burleigh Street a week ago Sunday. The family is stunned. They say Tony was never in trouble. Police have few leads, and that's why Tony's dad is offering a reward. If you have any information that would help, you're asked to call 935-7302. That's the number for Milwaukee Police Department's Detective Bureau. When loved ones are lost to crime, the effect can be devastating financially as well.
So tonight, Joyce continues her investigation of crime victims with a look at one woman whose grief was compounded by the system.
Her daughter and granddaughter were murdered in her car. She says the state crime lab kept the vehicle for more than a year, searching for evidence. The whole time, she had to continue making payments on it, as well as find another way to get around. Victims assaulted by the system tonight on our news at 10.
Waukesha County authorities came upon a rather unusual traffic scene this afternoon. It involved a wrecked truck and some scattered cows. The cows got loose when a truck swerved to avoid an accident. That's when the driver lost control and rolled over. His evasive action came when some heavy equipment on the truck ahead smacked into an overpass.
When that piece of equipment came off, it was just a matter of reaction more than anything else. It appears as though he did the best he could, but just wasn't fortunate enough to avoid the equipment and ended up rolling over.
5 cows spilled out of the back, adding to the confusion of the scene. The driver wasn't badly hurt, but one of the cows had to be destroyed.
The A.O. Smith Company plans to announce layoffs tomorrow, affecting as many as 1,200 Milwaukee workers. Company spokesman Edward O'Connor says the layoffs will begin December 15th, about a week before the company's normal holiday shutdown. O'Connor says the layoffs will be for about 2 weeks and are a result of plant shutdowns in the auto industry. If Milwaukee high school students come to class, work hard, and need money for college, it's now available, courtesy of a new scholarship program from the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. As much as $3,000 a year will be set aside for each student who qualifies. A student must graduate from high school with a 2.5 average on a 4-point scale and be in school 90% of the time. High school seniors graduating in 1991 will be eligible. And Mayor Norquist says the scholarship will be a boost for Milwaukee's future.
Very important that we inspire our youngsters to succeed, to look beyond the next day, to look beyond immediate gratification, and plan their future education and their future employment.
5 high schools, North Division, South Division, Madison, Pulaski, and Custer, are eligible for the pilot program. The money comes from interest the association will earn on money from the sale of its credit bureau. And coming up, a green Christmas.
Yes, in these environmentally conscious times, more people worry about the wrapping paper and the Christmas cards they throw away. In a moment, we'll show you what a Wisconsin company is doing about that in a Project Environment report.
Morning, honey.
Good morning.
Come on, boys. It's time to get up.
24 hours a day. Wisconsin Bell's advanced diagnostic equipment monitors telephone cables across the state. When there's a problem, this technology allows us to restore phone service.
I'm finished here, Jim.
Before anyone has a chance to miss it.
I'll get it. With Handy Andy, you've got it made.
How about a little light on the subject? Handy Andy now carries Sylvania light bulbs. Get Sylvania's 4-pack of soft white light bulbs, now guaranteed to last up to 5% longer. Only 29 cents per 4-pack after rebate. Then get Sylvania's 2-pack of workshop bulbs. Each has a life of 12,000 hours guaranteed. Only 79 cents per 2-pack after rebate.
With Handy Andy, you've got it made.
To wrap up your holiday shopping, your children can enjoy a ride on the Santa Claus Express. And remember, for that special gift, shop Capital Corp.
Holiday sale November 29th through December 2nd.
This sounds about right. The average American family will send nearly 50 greeting cards this year, mostly at Christmas time.
It takes nearly 500,000 trees to make those cards. One Madison company is capitalizing on that fact, as Boyd Hoopert shows us now in tonight's Project Environment report.
Lights are burning round the clock at Earth Care Paper. It's not just the Christmas rush, but a wave of environmental consciousness that has business booming. Every card, every piece of wrapping paper EarthCare sells is made from recycled paper. The company was founded by two environmental educators, frustrated when they tried to buy recycled paper for a newsletter.
Unless they were going to buy 20,000 pieces of it at a time, nobody would sell it to them.
With one employee, they set up shop in a Madison office. 4 years later, they've moved to a converted grocery store. 150 workers pack merchandise and take orders from the 500,000 catalogs EarthCare mails out to homes across the country. But perhaps even more striking than EarthCare's rapid growth is the company's adherence to some non-traditional business philosophies. How many mail-order companies devote large portions of their catalogs to educating customers, or donate 10% of pre-tax profits to environmental causes, or promote boycotts of other companies with poor environmental records?
We believe that just because we're a corporation and Exxon is a corporation, that doesn't necessarily mean that our corporate philosophy and the way that we choose to operate is the same.
That activist philosophy has undoubtedly cost EarthCare some business, but it's also netted the company a staff of like-minded, highly dedicated employees.
I can actually do this and not go, slinking home and feeling embarrassed about it later.
This is one company where a healthy profit is no more important than a healthy Earth. Boyd Hooper, TV6 News, Madison.
By the way, EarthCare paper makes up to 70% of its annual sales during the holiday season. And speaking of Christmas, be on the lookout for the best decorations in your neighborhood.
Because the big night is coming. No, not Christmas, not yet anyway. When TV6 News photojournalists will be capturing those displays to show to people all across southeastern Wisconsin. We ask you to call us with your suggestions about the great decorations you've seen. Call 355-6666 and give us the location and your name and number.
And then the big night, the first big night, is Thursday, December the 6th, when TV6 photojournalists will videotape as many displays as possible so that we can show them to you on TV6 newscasts throughout this holiday season.
Very cold out there.
Yeah, I know one fellow who's probably freezing his hollyhocks.
Yikes.
Can you say that on TV? I don't know if we can or not. Hey, we're talking about the Christmas cam. We have the Candela cam out. Cam was on the road. We'll talk about that and a chilly forecast coming up.
Hi, I'm Robert Urich, and I've got news. Tomorrow is a special day on Light 97 FM. We'd like you to listen for an hour or so. Then tomorrow evening, we'll make calls all over southeastern Wisconsin to ask how you like Light 97 WLTQ. We'll give the first 50 people we call $100 just for telling us what they think. Okay, that's tomorrow. Tune to 97.3 FM and try the new, brighter variety, Light 97 WLTQ.
Forget about the X controversy. Some